So this chapter starts off with this old man, a veteran in his second incarnation. He once single-handedly conquered the archipelago in the Silver War of Wa. Then we see Ryu, and he's known for the highest curse energy output in history. Then we have Uro with 70 points. Then we have Kurourushi with 54 points. And then we see Yuta one-tap this old guy who had 91 points, by the way. And Yuta only had 35 points. Then Ryu and Uro realize that the old guy's Shikigami are disappearing. Then Ryu asks Kogani, "Show me the player whose points have changed within the last minute in Sendai Colony." Then Uro said he's been racking up points. Then Ryo said things just got interesting. Then we see Yuta walking. Then we see a group of people saying Mr. Yuta. Then Yuta being nice, he was gonna help them. Then Yuta felt something and there was noise. Then he pulled out his sword. Then he told him to run. Then this guy right here, who was too slow, and just when he was about to get grabbed, Yuta grabbed him. Then this guy got swarmed by these little cockroaches and went inside of his body and out his ears and eyes and everything to nothing, just skeleton. Then we see a whole bunch of cockroaches flying towards Yuta. He blocked it. He weaved back. Then we see Rika trying to knock it down, and she did, but there was still more running towards him. Then Yuta used a gust of curse energy to obliterate them. Then Uro and Ryu were shocked. Then Ryu said his output isn't all that. What's surprising is his overall curse energy. It's bottomless. Then Yuta asked Kogani, "Is that thing a player?" Then it says yes. Its name is Kurourushi. The cockroach had decided to enter dormant state. Kurourushi has an endless appetite. Then having just awakened, Kurourushi found itself starving. Okkotsu interrupted its meal, so Kuroshi's instinct directed it to devour him. Then Yuta is confused about a player who's a cursed spirit. And we're gonna skip all this yet because we're only here for the fight. Then we see Yuta hit his pose. He said, "I will kill Genjaku, and by myself, I will obtain 400 points." Then we see Kurourushi pull out his sword from his armpit. It's called the Festering Life Sword, an enchanted blade that mixes life and death. Then we see Kurourushi swinging the sword, Yuta literally cutting his arm. Then Yuta throws his blade between his bicep and his wrist, trap it in a rock. Then we see Yuta use his hand, elbow him in the chest. Then he gets knocked back. Then he flies up, but then you see Yuta right here already on the bridge. Then we see Yuta flash step his sword up, about to cut him in half, and it looks like it's finished, but he was able to block it. Then we see a whole bunch of cockroaches scattering everywhere and making like this tornado. Then Yuta realized that he's being watched, and he knows it's two players. But Yuta has a plan. Since Kurourushi is a cursed spirit, so the same way he healed Yuji with positive energy, he's gonna kill Kurourushi with positive energy. That's his plan. He doesn't want the other two players to realize he uses reverse curse technique. Then Yuta says he wants to exercise Kurourushi without using reverse curse technique or Rika. Then you can see Kurourushi tweaking out saying, "Why are you interfering?" Then we see Yuta say, "Why do you kill us? Why are you killing people?" Then Kuroushi's confused. Then he says, "I like the taste of iron." Then we see him chanting, "Blinding, blinding, blinding." Then summoning these weird looking things called earthen insects. Then they surround Yuta, but then Yuta swings down his sword, making the water go up, protecting him. Then we see these little bugs coming towards Yuta. Then he slices them. Then we see Kurourushi attacking Yuta. Yuta's blocked. Then he has little holes on his sword. He shoots little bugs inside of Yuta's arm. Then we see little bugs grow from his shoulder. Then Yuta kills those bugs. Then he gets hit by his sword again. Then we see Yuta in this state. Then we see Kurourushi right over his body. Then we think about to devour him. Then we see Yuta grab his face. Then he puts his mouth on his mouth. It blows positive curse energy through his whole body to completely blow him up. Then you see Yuta has gained 5 points. His mouth is the closest to the brain, so he blew positive energy through his mouth to make it implode. Then Uro realized reverse curse technique seems like you can use it. Then Yuta turns around, see the sky bent. Then we see Uro attacking Yuta instantly. Then we see Yuta confused on what caused the destruction. Then he weaves a punch. Then we see Uro bend the sky, and he gets elbowed. And then he sees the shape of his arm has changed. Then we see Yuta falling back. Then Yuta realizes his arm's back to normal. It doesn't even hurt. Her curse technique probably controls space, but maybe it can't actually crush her opponent. Kind of like how a lens creates a distortion. Then Uro explains, "My curse technique treats the sky as a surface." Then she shows it off like this. Then we see Ryo from afar shooting a granted blast right at them. Then Yuta tanking it. Then we see Yuta dashing forward, going directly towards Ryu. We see him shooting another granted blast, but multiple. Then he realizes he's gone. Then he's right behind him. Then we realize that Yuta made a hole right underneath and went all the way around. He's about to hit him. Then Ryo blocks it. We see Yuta block the right and block all of the attack. Yuta realizes that his output is high and he releases curse energy with nearly instantaneous explosiveness. His movements are fast and precise. If I don't guard well, I could take damage. Then Ryo says he reinforces his toughness with his curse energy. It's like I'm knocking against a massive water tank. Then we see them flash their backs together, but Ryo adds his granite blast right on his back. So then we see Yuta go flying. Then he crashes into this building. Ryo speeds up right next to him to shoot another granite blast, which Yuta blocks with his bare hand, and then Yuta punches him, but at the last second he shoots a granite blast to block the punch. He gets yanked back with his arm completely burnt. I don't hit the person, I hit the surface of the sky. I break that surface like thin ice, and my opponent with it, a technique called thin icebreaker. Then we see Ryu say, "You're in my way, pile of vomit." Then she grabs his guide and redirects it towards him. Then we see Ryu say, "I've never been hit with my own curse technique." Then we see Yuta still there, standing. Then we see Uro being cocky and saying, "You're tough, and that's good because I've decided to toy with you." Then we see Ryu say, "His curse technique is a problem, but it consumed a lot of curse energy. He used it every time Kurourushi, Uro, and I used our big moves." Then we see Yuta putting the ring on and saying, "Come, Rika, give me everything." Then we see Rika spawn in. Then Ryu and Uro shocked. Then they realize that he wasn't even using his full power. Then we see Yuta rip her chest open. Then Yuta grabs this metal arm. Then we see Yuta using her speech saying, "Don't move." Then we see her covering her ears to block the words, but she was too late. So Yuta starts hitting her, and then Rika punches her. Then we see Yuta get on her arms, and Yuta getting blown. Then we see Ryu shooting his granite blast again. Then Rika blocks it with one arm. Then Ryu even said, "That thing deflected it. It might be stronger than Okkotsu." Then we see Rika saying, "That hurt." Then punches Ryu so hard he goes flying. Then we see her catch up, about to hit him, but then Ryu punches her, sending her flying. Then we see Ryu saying, "I still got appetite." Then we cut back to Yuta fighting Uro, using these bat things that are like Rika's face. Then she steps on one of the bats. Then she realized Yuta is using that old man's curse technique. So then she figures out that Yuta Okkotsu's curse technique is copied. Then we see two granite blasts coming down. All four of them land. Yuta punches Uru, but she blocks it and uses thin icebreaker. Then he's trying to give her that talk no jutsu. Then Yuta feels Ryu charging up his curse energy. Then we realize he's about to open his domain. So they all open their own domain to have a three-way domain clash. And we see the domains are overlapping each other, so the sure hit effects aren't working. In order to avoid giving Yuta the sure hit, to keep Rika outside of the barrier. But Rika might try to intrude later. Then we see that Ryu knocked Rika 20 meters away so that Rika couldn't reach the barrier. Then we see Rika shifting into high gear. That moment, we see Kurourushi back. Then we see Kurourushi attacking Rika. Even if Kurourushi, the player, died, Kurourushi, the cursed spirit, would still be going strong. Then we see the clash of three domains is more complex than that of two. As they erected their barrier, the internal and external conditions differed, and an unexpected intruder caused the barrier to break. Uru was distracted by Kurourushi, and Okkotsu didn't miss his opportunity, kicking her straight down. Then we learn immediately after domain expansion, one's curse technique burns away, making it difficult to use. Then we see Kurourushi shooting those bugs in her arm, then making her arm blow up. Then Rika bites her arm, copying her technique. And then we learn even though Uro has reverse curse technique, healing her arm will be a great feat. Then we see Ryu shooting a granite blast straight at her, crushing her on the wall, and also hitting Kurourushi. Then we see Yuta grabbing Kuroshiki's face and using positive energy to blow him up. Then we also learn that Yuta can only release a direct high output blast of cursed energy while Rika is completely manifested, even at full power. However, his blasts are slightly weaker than Ryu's, so he needed to rapidly build up cursed energy and fire before his opponent reached max power. That was his intention, but the intense look in Ryu's eyes expressed over 400 years of hunger and thirst. Then we see Yuta saying, "Just this one." Then we see Yuta saying, "Thought he'd probably never find meaning in fighting." Ryu gaze melt Yuta's heart. Then we see him clash. Then we see Ryu saying that was seriously sweet. Then he wants to do it again. Then we see Rika shooting her blast. Then Ryu just realized that Okkotsu jumped forward at the same moment the blast struck. But then he stopped it with his bare hands. Then Ryu said, "I can do whatever you can do." Then he said that wasn't very powerful. Then we see him about to use it on Yuta. But then he uses sky manipulation to shoot it up. And then we see Ryu saying he already replenished. Then we see Yuta using thin icebreaker. Then Rika slamming down her fist right on Ryu's head. And then he realized in 5 minutes the connection between Rika and Okkotsu would end. So he punched Rika. Then a single blow that was too much for Rika, even when completely manifested, would cause her to reach her limit. Then we see Yuta doing 2 kicks, one to his arm, one to his leg. Then 3 punches, one to his face, one to his chest, one to his stomach. Then we see Yuta grabbing his coat, holding him down, and throwing him right into the blast. Then we realize the blast that Yuta threw up earlier was meant to come right back down. Then we see Ryu saying, "Thank you, my stomach is full now," which means he had a satisfying fight. Then we see Ryu and Yuta chilling, Ryu calling Yuta soft. Then we see him chatting. We see a rule 10, players may transfer a number of points of their choosing to another player. Then Yura says, "I say, without that rule, you'd have killed us." Then Yuta was like, maybe. Anyway, be grateful to my comrade. Then due to the points transferred from Uro and Ryu, Yuta Okkotsu now has 190 points. And that is the end of the fight. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. And until next time, we out.